What is going on, guys? It's time for another episode. This is episode 149, and this is the Up and In It podcast. And I'm Adrian Babashoff. Welcome you to another edition. Today's about 6 years of tiny living, 2020, the year of 2020 reflections. And I've been living this way for a long time, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys some rundown of what I thought about 2020 and how this could be productive, I think, for a lot of people, how I think that it's not for most, but definitely a way to save some money, gain some freedom in life, and make some wonderful, awesome stuff happen. But as with everything, as everything goes, there's a price to pay, there's some give and take, some pros and cons. We're going to kind of go over that for 2020. And let's get into it. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what this show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and the planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw, the way you want to do it. So yeah, guys, been living 6 years, tiny house, aka travel trailer, off and on, not the whole 6 years straight. But pretty much in the same spot for the past 3 years, I'm going to say now. And notice some things that I like about it, some things that I don't. And the very first thing that I'm not really too happy about is the cooking space. This is also as a potty mouth podcast. Almost screwed up. Potty mouth podcast, viewer and listener discretion is advised. Cooking space really sucks living in a trailer, and I've seen the tiny houses, how they design them and everything. It's pretty cool how they have the little salt and pepper jars where they screw into a lid that's actually stapled or fastened to like the top where the stove's at. So they could have all kinds of little storage spaces and stuff like that. That's actually one of my things I would like to do to combat such things as cooking space and stuff like that, and space in general, is pretty much just gut the whole RV trailer out. It's not on my notes here, but I want to just come right out the gate with this thing. I live full-time in an RV park. I don't travel around and all that kind of stuff. I own my own business. I run my whole entire business, construction business, by the way, out of an RV park. But you can pay a fraction, and you can live here you pay rent for as long as you want. There's people who've been at this RV park for like 30, 40 years. But it's very cheap and everything. So that's kind of the gist of what I'm doing. But I think when you bring one in, well, I don't think I know, when you bring an RV in here or a tiny house, it has to have approved by the like city and stuff like that, that it's been inspected. Basically, that's not going to catch on fire or blow up. You can't just build your own tiny house and be like, ta-da, here I am, here we go. Unless some other states, and like sunny side, Southern California, with all its rules and regulations. Wonderful weather, by the way, though. Today was like 80 degrees, I think. It was phenomenal. It's January too. This is the third week of January. But anyhow, one of the thoughts I had, it was that bringing in a travel trailer, if you gut the whole thing out and not taking apart the plumbing and things like that, but redo the beds, the cabinetry, and maybe make it to where you could put a nice bigger refrigerator or something inside of it. Lots of different places, like you see in the tiny houses where they have the stairs going up to the little loft, and they make cabinetry where you could store stuff. So all the space is accounted for. RVs, travel trailers, are designed for weekend warriors, so they're not very precisely built to actually live in. And in fact, in my opinion, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong because of living in them. They're just made for weekend warriors. So some things need to be, I would say, improvised upon and kind of tweaked. That's the kind of person I am anyways, and I know how to fix and build stuff. But yeah, the cooking space really, really sucks. I don't even cook at all, really, inside my RV. Being in sunny side California, too, where the weather's usually mild, whether it's rain or shine, I've built myself an entire canopy that comes off the side of my truck, which is 15 feet by 30 feet. And I've got a barbecuer and stuff like that. Anybody who's been following me knows that's the way I live. But yeah, I cook everything outside. I got a freezer outside, a refrigerator outside. I got a smoker. I've got a wok with a little burner that I cook outside. And then my barbecue, of course, I use that as an oven. I make brownies, cakes, pies, bread. I cook lasagna on it. I grill. I make scrambled eggs. I use everything. I have cast iron pans, but there's not a lot of tabletop space And it's just really become annoying because a lot of the dishes and things, I don't have space to leave them outside. So I put them inside the RV, the trailer. So you're walking in and out and around and trying to find stuff. And it's really, really getting on my nerves. It's first world problems, I know. It's not a third world problem. But it does after a while when you had a long day. It does start to it's like stepping on a little sticker every once in a while, you know, or having just debris and obstacles in your way all the time. Sooner or later, you just kind of go, fuck, you know, you want to lose it. So yeah, cooking space, I think, is something I definitely miss in having a house. Never had much experience cooking for a family. Being a single dad now and having two daughters, most of the time I'm cooking dinners and stuff for them. So I've had to learn, and I think cooking space is definitely something that's underrated, you know, in a home. So living tiny, I think that maybe you might want to consider rearranging, I'd say would be your best bet, and trying to build some with as much counter space as you can. Because the second thing in the notes I have here is that food storage. And I've been moving a lot into like preparing stuff, like prepping for emergencies and stuff like that. And the reason is, I've said it on a couple of my shows, we've had the water shut off for a day and a half. We had the electricity go out, and we've had some certain problems where we've, some people that I know lost the entire freezer full of food because they didn't know the electricity got shut off and things like that. So I've got all these little plans, and we're going to move the show a little bit into things like that, like to how we can prepare for catastrophes, or just and things that we can do that we're utilizing already, stacking functions, as I say on this show. What are things that we can do in case there was an earthquake or a tsunami or a volcanic eruption, or I think you're pretty fucked if there's a volcanic eruption, but a hurricane or just whatever, threats of these things, and you have to sit back for a couple days. Instead of losing out and being hurt, why don't we utilize things that we're going to be using anyways, and we keep flowing no matter what, and it's better for us regardless whether shit hits the fan or it doesn't. So yeah, as far as food storage is one of my big ones. There's not a lot of space. I think it's one of the things that I've tackled with dealing with space, living tiny, running a business and living so large like I do, is I actually bought myself some storage containers. And they have an RV storage area down at the bottom of the RV park where I live. And I've got a 20-footer and a 30-footer. I bought two. Bought one about 2 years ago and just bought me another one for business. Keep all my tools and materials and things like that. But it helps to get things that I'm not using for summer in there while we're living through the winter like we are right now. And that way it gives us a little bit more room. So it's definitely I'd say it's been a negative as far as like storing canned foods and things like that. I mean, we try to do our best, but a pantry would definitely be ideal, man. Like a little closet of some sort. Like, so again, it's first world problems, but it just gets annoying, man. And I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bitch about it or something, but it sure sounds good to just get back into a house sooner or later. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm very happy. And let me clarify too. I'm saving a shit ton of money, guys. I'm paying like a third of what most people pay around here as far as rent goes. And I'm also mobile. Shit hits the fan, I could be out of here and in another state, another city, anywhere within a matter of days. I am not tied down, and that is a damn good fucking feeling. Besides, with my overhead being so damn low, I'm able to take off time whenever I want. I can take off right now if I wanted to, but that's the whole deal. What I've been doing is working my ass off, making some really, really good coin right now, by the way. And I'm thinking about maybe upgrading from living tiny in an RV park to maybe even a mobile home, and getting on a piece of land someplace, or even a mobile home park, just to kind of up this a little bit. I'm not sure yet. Money never hurts. So we're working really hard. All the monkeys in my fucking head, my psychoticness. But yeah, we're working to save a bunch of money, to make some changes in our lives. We may be here for a couple more years. I don't know. We just have to see how it goes. But let's get back on track here. Personal space and privacy has been another one. And when you live tiny like this, let me put it this way. Like my youngest daughter, who's 12 years old, my special needs kid, she wants to go play with her Barbies and stuff like that. And being a loving parent and stuff, I look over and I watch her play, and I'm just like, oh my God, she's so fucking cute, you know? And then she sees me seeing her, and then she stops playing. And she's like, oh, So I just looked and I was like, oh man, you know, there's nowhere to go. You can go inside, but somebody walks in and disturbs you. So I put up a little tarp thing for like a little curtain so she could play behind there in her dollhouse. And that seemed to make her happy. But just the fact that she doesn't have that space. And the same with me. What if I want to, I've been single for like 3 years now, I think, or something. What if I want to go tear a piece off of my, go whack one off or something like that? I got no place to fucking do that shit. I got pent up energy. No, it's jokes, folks, jokes. Don't get all crazy. We're trying to, remember what we said on episode 1. We're going to try to make some funny stuff and just relax and just kind of let things flow, okay? So there's not really much personal space, and I think when you're having conversations, especially when you're a person like me, talking on the phone or doing stuff, unless you're in your vehicle like I am now. This is my F360 1996 pickup truck, my diesel. Unless you're locked up inside, no one can really hear you. That's why I do my podcast, because it's quiet and stuff in here. But as you guys see me look out the window every once in a while, I just had a neighbor pull in and their headlights went on me, so I was just kind of looking to see what was going on. But even when you're just sitting outside relaxing, you have a window that's just right there within like 20 feet of you, and it's just weird. There's just no space. But reason why I chose to live this way too is that I'm never really home that much. I'm working my ass off to get out of here. I may go travel for life. I don't know. I may go join a community for life. I may more likely get my own place, a little homestead somewhere, which will broaden the show immensely. I want to produce most of my own food, my own power, and all things like that. But putting everything together and just trying to figure things out for the right way. So I take my time right now, and this is the perfect place to do it. I'm month to month, if I didn't mention that. So in order for me to maybe buy a piece of land in, say, Florida or state of Oregon or anywhere, I can qualify because my overhead's really low. I'm renting month to month. And it's just overall really good. Is it for everyone? I don't know, but it's saving a butt ton of money. And I think we're definitely going to get by. I just try to make the mountains, the deserts, and the beach, which is the reason why I live here too. I got almost like Peter Pan's island. I've got mountains, deserts, oceans, and everything within like 45-minute drive. I could be at the beach, less than that. 30 minutes one way I could be at the mountains. Another 15 minutes past that I could be in the desert. So utilize the outdoors, and don't really spend much time at home, because it really is not very peaceful, I'd say. It's not very nice. I don't know. It's not very comfortable. There's not a lot of space, especially when, like my next note here is when you're outdoor living type of people. That's what I am. Even if I had a house, when I had a house, I was always in my backyard. I'd have a fire ring, whether it was raining or not. I usually put couches. I get free couches and line them around the fire pit. I had a reclining rocking chair, which I'd snuggle with my daughter, one of my favorite times, and just watch the sun go down, drink some bottle of wine, which I got here. I should wet my whistle. And watch the bats and stuff come out, and just beautiful. Watch the colors change in the sunset, and rocking my daughter back and forth, snuggled in a blanket with a nice, good fire. That's the type of person I am, man. I'm a cowboy, or whatever you want to call it, a cowboy hobo. But yeah, living that type of life here in an RV park's not very conducive. And I miss having a yard on that point. I miss having a yard for myself. I miss having a yard to garden in. Even though I spin farm, I have a full-blown huge garden, bigger than I've ever had in my life, off somebody else's property that I don't own. I pay the water bill over there, and I give them some food in return, but I have places to garden. I'm very ingenuitive, always, an opportunist. But for my daughter, I noticed it would just be really nice to have her in a patch of grass again, or just a backyard where, I don't know, it's more private and fenced in, and let her go experience bugs and getting dirty and making mud pies and stuff like that. And, having it all the time. But I guess, again, third or first world problems. But I'd say the other thing, I can't make these shows too long. We're going on almost 15 minutes here, guys. I hate doing this shit. But as I've explained to you guys, I'm trying to save money to possibly get out of here, go do something different. And I'm on a budget, which I always share and teach on this show. And my budget doesn't really afford me to do shows, especially I'm doing them Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I'm trying to cut them down to no more than 30 minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to use up all my time. For those of you who don't know, for these shows, I got to pay to do these shows. We don't even have a website yet, and I'm thinking about getting something like that going. But yeah, anyways, I got to keep them down, and sometimes it gets me like nervous that I got to spit everything out fast, and I'm trying to relax and do a lot better. Little couple sips of wine has been helping, but one of the other things I think is rodents. Living in an RV park, there's lots of people stacked up on each other, and we've been having problems with rats and mice coming in. And my special needs daughter, they came and ate almost a whole entire pack of her diapers, just shredded stuff around. They shit and pissed inside of it, and that's when I said, you know what, I got to draw the line. I didn't poison them because I don't want to hurt the owls and stuff, which we have around here at nighttime. But I did set up traps, and I killed quite a bit of some large rats and some mice. And I think we finally got them under control, but it's just one of those things. You don't know if your neighbors are, got garbage and stuff sitting out and food, and they're not covering their trash cans, and it attracts a bunch of rodents and things like that. And it's pretty much, it's disgusting. I've had where I changed my special needs kids' diapers on the floor, and we have a little vent area, and the rats were in there. And in the summertime when it got hot, it just reeked like urine and feces. And I had to break the wall open and vacuum everything out and spray some bleach and stuff in there, and it's just gross. So yeah, is it made for everybody? No. If you are if you are in a hole though, man, and you are getting fucked right now, if you're getting drilled in the ass by this whole recession, this whole world thing going on here, I would say your best bet is to go to an RV, because even if shit hits the fan, you can't afford that, which I'm starting to see in this place now. Believe it or not, at a third of the cost that most people are paying, or people still can't afford it, that means you're in a pretty bad spot. At least I can say you can take off to some place where you can go like Texas or Oregon, where you can pay half of what I'm paying right now. Get yourself a job, relocate, or even just go off of BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, and camp for free for 2 weeks if you can make it that way, or just go park on the dead end streets. At least you have a home, you have something. If it comes to the worst case scenario, sell it. But it's definitely a very quick, easy way to get your overhead down low. Is it the easiest way to live? I'm going to say no. It definitely takes patience. It definitely takes some dedication. But I think if you're really into getting yourself ahead, saving some money, building, like me, I'm building my new businesses and stuff right now. And it definitely affords me that time to put more time than if I was living in a house renting like I used to. I have way less overhead, so that affords me time to take off and put more towards myself, my health. We eat 100%, almost 100% organic food, so I apply the money that I'm saving instead of rent to traveling, to taking my kids to new places and stuff, traveling every year, eating healthy organic foods, growing our healthy organic foods, educating myself, getting exercise, and I'd like to spend a lot more time with my children and stuff like that. And I can if I so chose to. If I wasn't doing this podcast and I wasn't running my new garden businesses and stuff, I can easily just take time off, work as much as I want to, and really take time off. Especially being here for the past 3 years, I've been able to save up an emergency fund where I can live pretty much like 2.5, 3 years. I think pretty much solid right now. I could probably live about, I'd say 2.5 to 3 years without working a day, and I would not anything extravagant, living in a trailer, eating rice and beans and simple foods, but yeah, I'd be able to make it no problem at all, and that's a really, really good feeling. So if you're screwed over, man, and you feel like there's no way out, there is a way out. Just get yourself a trailer. You heard some of the cons. I've got some more shows that what to look for when you're buying a trailer, and even some modifications, like some of the tips I shared with you guys today. Check it out down there. And you guys, that's the show that really helps me out. If you guys come and comment, there's upandititshow@gmail.com in the section below in the description. Go out there, ask me questions. I'm here to help. I'm here to share. I want to know what you guys think. I know it seems like we're starting to get a little bit momentum here with some stuff, a little bit. But please help and like give me a review, man. Even if it's a shitty one, just give me something. Let me know that you're out there and you're liking what I'm doing. So that's it, man. I mean, don't do it just to be nice. If the show sucks, fucking tell me it sucks, and I'll quit the show. Because I have been thinking about that too. We've been about a year now going for it, and we really haven't got very, very far. So I don't know, still not going to throw in the towel, going to keep doing it. If I do quit, I promise I'll let you guys know that I'm going to quit, and we're going to move on to something else, which will probably be YouTube gardening videos and stuff like that, how to produce your own food and stuff like that. So yeah, you can check this out, Up and In It. It's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and anywhere you can find the podcast, Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, Stitcher, I think, iHeartRadio. And as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it, and bone it, my friends.